In a previous video, I showed you how to create a Refworks account, and Refworks is very valuable because it allows us to save the articles we've searched out on the library website and then organize them into folders so we can have them for different classes or different research projects we're working on. But we can also generate bibliographies. And in the previous tutorial, I did it the easy way, or a very quick way, perhaps not the best way to do it. I created a bibliography in an HTML file, and I just cut and pasted it into my paper, which still turns out to be quite useful. But there's actually a better way for doing this, and it's called Write and Cite. And if you go to you're in your Refworks page, if you go to Tools, you'll see Write and Cite, and you can download the Write and Cite add-in for Microsoft Word. They recommend that you use the previous version because the newer version is kind of buggy. In fact, I was making a tutorial and I was using, I think, 4.0, and I had difficulty. It locked up on me, so you may want to download this older version, this previous version. There are a couple of things you have to do before you get it to work. When you're in the Refworks overview page, which is where we were when we logged into Refworks and created our account, if you go over to Write and Cite, it gives you some information on installing Write and Cite. Okay, what I just told you, tools, and you install the version of Write and Cite, okay, previous version. But you also have to do a proxy configuration so it knows that we're using our university's library system and that we have subscribed to this service. So to do that, you go to the Start menu. This is actually, I guess, Windows XP, but you go to the menu here, and then you go to All Programs and Refworks, and then you click on WNC Proxy Configuration Utility. Now, I've already configured it, so I'll just cancel out of that. Up here is the proxy configuration from this page that we use for our university. So let's see how all of this works. So I have a paper up here, and let's say I want to add some citations. So I'm going to go and I'm going to open my Write and Cite account, I guess, and here's my login to the university website or university library system. And then once I'm logged in there, I'm going to have to log into my Refworks account, which we did last time. And you can see I have a bunch of papers here. These are all the references I've saved into my account, 451. You may want to work from a simpler setup, which is just look at the folder you're interested in. Let's take the competitive strategy folder. And we'll just put this over on the side here, and we'll call up our document. And let's say right here, I'd like to add a reference. So I'm going to go to Write and Cite, and I'm going to find the article I'd like to add, or the book. And let's say I want to add Collins' Good to Great. So I click Cite, and you can see that it puts in a funny code here. All right. If I delete that code, then the reference won't be there anymore. But this isn't the bibliography yet. We've just put the code in, and let's put a couple more in. And I say I want to put a citation in here, and let's say I want to put in the Sharon Oster book. So I'll put Cite. And again, I get another one of these funny coded brackets, some number, and the name of the author and the year. And we'll go someplace else. Let's go one more place. We'll go right here and add one more article. Let's add this Michael Porter article, How Competitive Forces Shape Strategy. So we'll add that one. So now we have these funny codes. what we want to do is we want to generate a bibliography. So if we go to the top of our Write and Cite page, it says bibliography, and we can choose the format, the output style for our references, for our citations. So you have a bunch of these. These are some of the ones I've used, but you can also click on Access Output Style Manager and get a list of other journals and other places you might want to send your paper to. Perhaps you're just using the APA, American Psychological Association 5th edition style manual. Here, we'll use the Journal of Finance. And I click Create Bibliography. And if I go to my paper, you can see it's cleaned this up. It's put it in the format that the Journal of Finance wants it in. And if I go to the end of the page, end of the article here, you can see it's generated my references, okay, in the format that the journal wants it in. Were I to have forgotten an article, I can add another reference. So let's say, let me go back to viewing these papers, and let's say that right here I wanted to add a reference. So let's say I'll add the Brandenburg book. I'll click that in, and you can see it has that funny code again. And again, when I say bibliography and create bibliography, it'll now add that to the end. And you can see that the Brandenburg article is in, and it's in the right place, okay, alphabetically. If I delete one of these, let's say I decide that, no, I didn't want this in here. Okay, I can just delete that. Now, it hasn't changed the reference yet. The reference is still in there. I have to go back to my Write and Cite and say Create Bibliography, and hopefully it'll take that out of there. And you can see that it's taken that out of there. So Write and Cite you may find to be actually a better way for adding references, and it also, not only does it add the reference, but it puts the citation in the proper format, the way the journal wants it. So I hope this is helpful.